Our first guest is a two-time Golden Globe winner and one of the most successful, beloved movie stars on the planet. He's written this brand new novel called Memoirs and Misinformation, which is available now, and it's awesome. He's one of my favorite humans ever. Here's New York Times best-selling author, the one, the only, Jim Carrey, everyone.
Brother.
Ho-ho.
Oh, man. Supercuts.
Come on.
Supercuts is the answer for you, buddy.
This is
Supercuts and hazmat suits.
this
Garden
is
shears from a great
state-of-the-art.
distance.
State-of-the-art is the best wig you can get right now.
I love it. I love it. You look like you're in the middle of a barroom brawl in slow motion.
Dude, which screams midlife crisis more, the blazer with the shirt or the messy hair?
Well, the fact that I'm free balling right now.
Holy crap.
Ballin'. That's what that song
My favorite
is
Tom
about,
Petty
man.
song. Are you kidding me,
He's
man?
all about it.
I'm a big fan. I know all the hits, man.
Yeah.
No, this is true. You are a New York Times best-selling novelist.
What an incredible thing. What
How's
a
it-
state of affairs.
how's it
My
feel?
goodness. It's a good sign for me, a terrible sign for the planet.
It is. Do you feel different? Are you walking
Well,
differently?
my co-writer and me, Dana Vachon, are literally children running around right now with our heads cut off, like chickens with our heads cut off. We're very excited about it. I mean, my
I
gosh,
loved it.
it's
I
a
loved
dream
it.
come true.
It is. I will say at first, when I got this, I go, "Oh my God!" This Memoirs and Misinformation. I go, "It's just a celebrity autobiographical memoir," and I can't wait to hear the stories. And it is sort of that.
Yes,
then-
it does get to some real things. There are real feelings in it and everything, but it's dressed up like a kooky parade float, and it goes headlong into some crazy apocalyptic ending that I think people will enjoy.
I absolutely enjoyed it, and I loved it. And certain things where I would love to just go like, I think that actually might have happened. No, that one definitely did not
It's a
happen.
monkey puzzle.
It really is so many good things in here.
It's a labyrinth.
It is, but I mean, so it's sort of true, kind of.
Yeah, well, it is true. All of it is none of it is true actually, all of it is real, but none of it is true. I don't even know anymore. I'm so confused.
It was so fun
I'm
to
like
read. It's
Donald Trump on a
trippy.
prompter at this point.
I will
Well,
start.
it is madness. It is Jim Carrey in the book represents me, and it represents all the false ideas everybody has ever had about fame.
Yeah.
So
this
it's doing a lot of work, and there's a lot to be had underneath. You can enjoy it just on the surface, just as a fun, crazy story of the magic and madness of Hollywood. But it's deeper than that. The apocalypse goes within in this one.
I would expect none less from you because you always do something so memorable and creative with anything you do. And I go, oh, this is brilliant. Because he could have just put out a book saying, well, I was born back in Toronto and it was
Yeah. Yes, yeah, exactly. No, we used to go up to the Esso station and jump up and down on the bell and make it ring. Yeah. That kind of stuff. I was hit with a hockey puck at 10 years old. Never been the same since. I wanted to, Dana and I, neither of us were interested in logging the events of my life in any kind of order. I think memoirs is a type of fiction to begin with. We both felt that way. You read most people's memoirs, you don't know, you know less about them when you're done.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, it's kind of a strange form anyway that gets altered and exaggerated and a lot of lying goes on.
It's a great title,
So,
Memoirs and
we
Misinformation.
just took it a little further.
Going through this writing process, did it get emotional? Did it get like, I don't know if we can do this?
Yeah, it's super emotional. It's super emotional, especially when I do anything about my father. Anything about my dad will open me up. It's a matter of time before the string gets pulled, and I become a living example of Samuel Barber's Adagio for Strings.
Did he? What did he? It starts coming. And you go, okay, I need 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Was
Yeah,
your
it's heavy.
dad the first person to introduce you to comedy clubs, or?
Yeah, he was the guy that said, hey, there's these places called comedy clubs, and you've got to stop doing this in the living room.
Would he
Making a
perform at
mess of the
parties at
place.
your house and stuff? Would
Yeah, every time people came over, I was the show. They would be greeted by an 8-year-old throwing himself down a huge flight of stairs at their feet. And they would be aghast. And then I'd get up and say, let's see that again in slow motion. Like that. And I'd go back up and I'd come down and do every step in slow motion.
They're like,
But so I was the show.
That was my move too. I would fall down the stairs with a paper plate, pretend I was Chevy Chase, and say live from New York. And then my parents would give me 50 cents or $1 something to do Rodney Dangerfield impressions for the party.
Oh, nice.
And I know Rodney's in the book too.
Rodney's in the book.
Well,
Rodney's roaring back.
Yeah.
Roaring back.
His
essence has been sold, and he will be seen again.
What was his first experience with you? Was it Young Comedians? No.
No, I wasn't on that. I was touring with him, like at Caesar's Palace and all these places where people were just scratching their heads because I was experimenting, and he would say, "Man, they're looking at you like you're from another friggin' planet," And he just loved my greenness. He would laugh openly out of nowhere, just look at my face and start laughing, and he'd ask me questions like, "Hey, kid, have you ever been in love?"
So young. I love him.
Yeah. But I got a great email from Joan Dangerfield. She was so excited about the book. She read it in 2 sittings, and she said just Rodney would be so happy. When he passed away, she sent me this beautiful box with his favorite shirt and his pot pipe, which is, if you knew him, that's pretty much the Grail. It's the Grail.
Is that right? That was the Grail.
Pot pipe is the Grail, man.
I started flipping out because I read the dedication first, and then the first quote in here is Marshall McLuhan. It said, "For the name of a man is a numbing blow from which he never recovers." And I go,
yes.
It's interesting. I'm trying to think of what that. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. And you kind of get into it in the story about becoming. It gets deep, man. It was
the self.
Yeah.
The construct of the self, the thing that you create to negotiate your way through the world, the face that you leave in a jar by the door,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's about. Your soul doesn't stop at the edge of your skin. It's one big soul, and we're all sharing it.
When did you figure that out?
I've been pounded by the universe several times. So, every time you get hit, T-boned by life, you're dragged to the bottom of the Marianas Trench again. And when you survive that, sooner or later, you're an experienced person. And if it doesn't kill you, if you don't let it, make you bitter or disillusioned about life, and you keep your faith, you eventually become a real son of a bitch.
Wait, what?
No, you eventually get to a place where you realize, oh God, well, that's you start to see things for what they really are. This is experience. It's not who I am. None of this is who I am. And you're stronger from it. You enjoy things more, and you get glimpses. I get glimpses every once in a while of that feeling of freedom. Actual freedom from self, freedom from the ideas of you.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on.